and my friend Usivu Nobo. Sivu Noba is the owner of of a business called Yobo Love. Can you please go over to the next slide? So over 10 years ago, I met a friend named Sivu who originally is from the Eastern Cape, but had since moved to Cape Town. At the time, I worked in corporate and he worked as a national ambassador for a beer brand. I'm not a beer drinker, but because my intention was to grow my own network of like-minded people and people I can learn from, I started attending Sivu's pop-up events. Through Sivu, I have met the most amazing people that I wouldn't have met any other way. Sivu's personal dream was to own a high-end bar with live performance, a space where people can meet and you can meet the people that you need to meet. Years later, Sivu quit his job and he opened his bar that he had dreamed of, and I was there every weekend for the first 3 months. Next slide, please. Then I introduced to you my other friend, Umzogisi Ndandiso. Umzogisi is an actor and he's a rapper. Next slide, please. So through Sivu, I met Umzogisi Ndandiso, an actor, a musician from the Eastern Cape. We immediately got along and I started attending his shows. Although I wouldn't quite say I'm a rap fan, but I intentionally supported him so much that I ended up knowing lyrics to some of his rap songs. Mzukisi introduced me to what is still one of my favorite places in Cape Town called Selective Live. Next slide, please. So Uluyanda Mafiana is the owner, or one of the owners of Selective Live. Can we go to the next slide, please? So Selective Live is a beautiful space here in Cape Town. I love it because it gives opportunity to both upcoming artists and you get to see legends, right? And the space is like tiny. It's like tiny, like someone's lounge. So it gives you that intimate experience. It feels like you can literally just like touch the person who is performing and there's a live band and you're sitting on the ground. I just loved that whole atmosphere that they created. So I frequented the space quite a lot, and then Uluyanda started noticing my obsession with the space. And then I became a regular client, and he tells, till this day, Rianda will tell anyone who's willing to listen of how I used to frequent the space long before they had their liquor license. Uluyanda is a musician originally from the Eastern Cape. It's been 5 years of me being a regular at Selective Live and have the most amazing people. I have met the most amazing people, and one of them is Umandisi. Umandisi is known as Digital Sangoma. A fact I didn't know about him for like a whole entire year of friendship. Next slide, please. So Umandisi I met at Bonga Kwana concert at Selective. And we started chatting and we started meeting up every other Sunday for over a year at Selective, enjoying the love of music together. Little did I know that my friend Umandi was actually a musician called Digital Sangoma. When he invited me to see him perform at Selective Live, which we have been frequenting together like for over a year, I was so shocked. So the next girl is Effie. Effie is a girl I met at Mandis's concert. Next slide, please. So on this day at Selective, I was so excited to see my friend perform. Just before the performance, I noticed a lady who seemed to have come alone to the show, leaning against the staircase at the table. And at the table I was sitting at, there was an extra chair. So I walked over to her and I greeted her and I introduced myself and I invited her to join me and my friends. From that day on, Effie and I became like friends. I saw her just yesterday. We went to watch more shows together. She's originally from the Netherlands and she's an incredible photographer. I've supported her exhibitions. We are currently partnered for a social responsibility project involving young girls in local schools called Period Poverty. Next slide. This is LJ. Next slide, please. LJ is also another person I met at Selective Live, and she's one of my most amazing people. I met her. She's a Turkish lady. She's a businesswoman who recently moved to Cape Town. We share a passion for people and we both really love to dance. And then the next person is Umali Bongwe, Blomzit Avenue. Next slide, please. So I got a DM randomly from a primary school friend. We started communicating and sharing about our lives. He's originally from Cape Town and he moved to the Eastern Cape, where he still resides. He told me he's coming to Cape Town and wants to assist me with a small project, wants me to assist him with a small project that requires my event management skills. The project actually ended up being a video shoot of his music video as Blomzit Avenue with Umsaki and Moby Dixon. I spent the whole day with them, moving from location to location and utilizing my context to make things go more effectively and efficiently. At the end of the day, Moby Dixon wanted to know my payment details. So I explained that this was me doing a favor for a friend. So instead of paying me, I asked if he could take my business card and call me the next time he's in Cape Town. Next slide, please. Moby Dixon. Next slide. So a few weeks later, Moby called. And I used my company's hotel discounts to get him a good rate because he was coming to Cape Town. I got him a good rate, and which that afforded me time with him. I introduced him to my friend Umandi, Digital Sangoma. I invited him over. I asked him, I said, Moby, can you come through with me to dinner to a friend of mine? And he came over to Mandy's place. The two got along like a house on fire and literally actually started making music on that very day. They actually have a song out together. I also introduced him to a few friends I had met through Mandy, who own those friends own a studio in Observatory, and they have a music recording studio. So I also introduced Moby to them so that he could be able to have a space in Cape Town that he could record at whenever he needs to at no charge. I also introduced him to my friend Ihub, the first person I spoke about, because he was looking to venture into a business, and through chats with Moby, I knew that it's something that Moby would be interested in, so I introduced the two men. And based on that, mine and Umobi's initial engagement then turned into a friendship. Next slide. So then what happened was, I met this lovely lady here at Ihub. She was a student, just like you last year. And next slide, please. And I'm getting excited, as you can see. So soon after this friendship was formed, I started volunteering at Ihub as a coach. And my favorite part of this was that I could go into the office and engage with the students and listen and do my best to motivate. One student in particular in Cape Town office stood out for me. Very patient, very kind girl named Bambanchik. I liked her instantly, and one morning she joined me and I was having tea and we started chatting, and I asked her what's next for her. And she actually told me that she has a dream which she told me her dream, which actually took me by surprise. She told me she is a singer but has never had her own show. I started asking her questions about how she's going about doing it, about the process and getting how she's going about the process and getting herself on stage. She told me she emailed numerous places and no success. I asked her how serious and ready she was. She said, Sis Busi, I'm ready. I said, okay, I'm gonna put my network to use. Next slide. I called Luyanda from Selective immediately, and he agreed and gave an opportunity for the next week. I phoned Mandy and Aljay and a few other friends to attend, and I asked my amazing photographer friend, Effie, to take pictures of Utkakamba for free so that she could be able to use them to market herself in future. One of Utkakamba's classmates at the time did makeup. So that's who did Ukakamba's makeup for the show. So this slide is Ukakamba's first show, and on the top right hand corner you will see there's an arrow. That's my friend Aljay. There's Ukakamba and myself, and in the middle picture is Ukakamba's first show, and it happened at Selective Live. If you see in the bottom corner, you will see it's me, Ukakamba, and Digital Sangoma. Next slide, please. After the success of her first show, I phoned my friend Usivu and asked to do a private performance by Kakamba for a selective few audience at his bar, and he agreed. That performance was attended by Umandi, Digital Sangoma, Usivu, who owned the bar, Umzugisi Ndantiso, the rapper, and my friend Moby Dixon. And I asked that they all go live on social media and introduce Kakamba to their followers. Next slide, please. So this is the second show, and I will start on the left, which is Umzugisi, Umandi, then there's Okakamba, then there's myself, then there's Moby Dixon and Sivu. And you will see on the top right corner, the photo that's there is a photo that was taken by my friend Uefi. Now it's photos that Kakamba now had access to be able to give to future establishments when they book her. And in the last photo in the corner, you'll see it's a moment between Ukakamba and Moby Dixon. Next slide, please. So then Ukakamba's third show was organized by one of my friends who I'd invited to her first show, LJ, the one who had an arrow top of her head. LJ is a friend of mine from Turkey, and she loved Ukakamba's performance and convinced a friend of hers who owns a business in town for Ukakamba to do a performance there. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend that one, but it was well attended by my friends. Next slide, please. So since then, Ukakamba, out of her own, after those 3 shows, she had enough. And last Saturday, she was the headlining act for Uzahara. She's been nominated for the Basadi Awards that was just put out as an emerging artist. She was one of the nominees there. She's been on TV to an Espresso. She's been on the newspapers. Yeah, next slide, please. So these are the 10 things. These are the 10 things that you can look up, and these are the things that you can benefit from networking. And I don't have to go deep into this. I'm really invested in the next slide, please. So these are the tips from me. If you look at the story that I relayed, it wasn't all too technical. I just used the respect that I was taught at home. When I saw another woman standing there and there was a chair, I did the right thing. And when I was approached by Umobi, I had the opportunity to take money or be able to be present for someone else. So sometimes if you utilize just the basic manners that our parents taught us, because some of our parents might not be educated, but I can tell you the teachings at home on how to conduct yourself around other people, how to show respect when needed, and how to step back, and allow someone else to shine. These are things these are things from home. So those are the things that I think are important when going into the situations. Like what I normally do is that when I go into a corporate networking, what I normally do is that I go into the room and I look at the room and then I divide the room with my eyes. Then I will check, okay, who are the people that are the most oldest in this room, and then I'll see where they are. Then I'll see where the cool crowd is, and then I will ask myself, what is my intention for this particular network? If my intention for that particular network is for me to find out more information about whatever topic, I do not waste my time going to the people that are within my age group. I go to the older people and I introduce myself like a child should to older people, with respect, and be humble. And people, when you do that, it catches them so much off guard that they will end up imparting information that could have taken you years to acquire. But they already have acquired it. And so what will they do? Give it to you. So just utilizing that basic respect that you were taught at home of, start with the elderly and show them respect. They know things that you don't know. Having to utilize this method is what has helped mine and my business partners Zoe's business. We had clients like Ferrari within our first year of business because I wasn't scared to ask for help from people that have been doing it. You know, they've acquired it. They already know what you don't. So only thing you need to do is manage yourself and discipline yourself and humble yourself and ask for help. Okay, cool. And number 2 is don't look for yourself in a room. This is a mistake we make all the time. You know, it's hard, like, to walk into a room with people, right? It's like the most natural thing to do is that you'll want to walk to a person whom you're going to have the easiest conversation with. But you can do that with your friends. You can do that at home. The intent, if it doesn't make you uncomfortable a little bit, you're probably not doing the thing that you should be in a networking. You know, you should place yourself. And I think sometimes we're so scared to come across as if you don't know. But to people that know, when you are willing to ask and learn, you'd be shocked at the response back that you're gonna get. So in a room, don't look for yourself. Look for the person that can help you take you to the next, someone who can educate you, someone who can add value to you. And it's also okay to walk into a room and look for someone who you can add value to. And number 3 is be willing to show up for others. This one point is one point that people sleep on when it comes to networking. People believe that networking is me getting. I must go in and people must do for me, but you are of value. You are of value, so you must add value. And adding value sometimes is just being that kind of person that is consistently just like supportive. There. I didn't know anything about beer, and nor do I drink beer, but I supported the guy that does. And I was there with beer drinkers like this. But I was there, you know? And I got to meet people that educated me, that I got to meet people that introduced me to spaces. I would have never met Umzukis. No, would he have invited me to shows if he hadn't seen me just showing up in a space that clearly wasn't a space that I would choose for myself, but it was a space that I knew I could grow in. Right? And the same thing like with Umzukis, like I told you, I'm not a rap fan. I'm not. I really am not. But I showed up for him because that's what you do. When you expect to benefit from a situation, you must first add to the situation. And adding to a situation is not as big as you think. Sometimes it's just giving you time. Because if you think about it and you look carefully, now money was exchanged with anyone. Everything I did was just give time. I gave of my expertise to Blomzit and Moby. I gave of my expertise. It's something that I have. I can do events. I got contacts. I gave them what I have. It didn't cost me anything. And so I did it, you know? And you need to have that mindset of what value can I bring into the space that I want to grow in? And you are always of value. By simply just being my mother's daughter, I am friends now with Effie, like a world-renowned photographer. And we started like an amazing campaign that we're doing for period poverty. Like, I've always wanted to do something for younger women because I already have created this thing that I do for female officials, but I wanted to be able to have an all-round, and I could have searched and gone to this place where there's young people trying to, and all I needed to do was be conscious of where I'm at and just be who I was raised to be. And the answer to my prayer was right there. And I just needed to get up from my comfortable chair and be kind to another female. And that female happens now to be one of my closest friends, and we're gonna change the world together. I know we really are gonna change the world together. And then the fourth and last point is be willing to introduce people to the people that they need to meet, even if you don't benefit. This is a mistake that we make, is that we want to be included and be inclusive in each and everything that we do. Sometimes you got to do for people. And when they are together, they will never forget how they got to be. They will never forget. I was in the room and they were doing a documentary on Umobi, and Mandy happened to be there as well. And so the reporter was asked, so I was in a separate room. I was in a separate room. I was in Mandy's room. I was busy with my work. And then Moby was asked, and they were asked, and then Moby was like, no, 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 hold on. We need to go to the other room because the actual plug is in the other room. And there I was busy minding my own business, but every time that they will be asked, every time that they will be asked how they met, my name will always come up. And it might not always come up in the right rooms, but one day the question will be asked and my name will be said and it will be the right room for me without me being there. So there's a power in connecting people to the people that they need to meet. There's power. Like, I helped a person that was a student. Utkakamba now is levels way above me. And I know she's going to flourish and continue to, because she took note of what I did. And do you know who Kakamba's current manager is? It is a student from the class that she was in Ihub. She took from the people that were right there. Now she's booked by Zahara through her own classmate. The people that you need to meet are in the room with you. You're thinking another person that is a better qualification or looks like this and this is going to be the answer. The answer is right there where you are. It's right there. And some of those people are not talking to each other and you're talking to them and you realize that they should be talking. Introduce them. Sit those three people down and make them see. Make them see how they can work together. Up until your dream comes true, you can create other people, you can help other people reach their dreams. And it's not gonna cost you anything but time. Yeah? That's basically my 2 cents, guys. I don't have anything else to add. Feel free to ask. Oh, this is the part I'm scared of because I know how smart you guys are. So now I'm scared of the questions part, but that's where we are, I guess. Remember what I said when I started? Please be gentle with me. Okay, cool. 2 questions. Hold on. Let me see. What are those questions? Can't slide it, see it. Let's see. Questions, guys? Or am I just not the one seeing the questions? Or maybe the questions are there. Oh wait, I'm the one not seeing the questions. The questions are there. Hold on. Okay, now my laptop, guys, is doing the most for me today. Oh yes, there's a question. I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Hello? Yes, I'm speaking. Hello? Behoratile? Is that who's speaking? Who's speaking? Okay, oh gosh, a few questions. Oh, scare me, why don't you? Oh, okay. 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 Is it me that's not? Hi. Hi. I can hear you, but it's breaking a bit. I can't even lie. It's breaking a bit. I can hear you though. We're still good. If you talk now, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you, Mama. I can hear you. Okay, now I can't hear you. I can hear you again. Yes. Listen, let me answer the first one because it gets me excited. So, Gail has got a psychology thing, right? And then she gets an interview at Liberty Live, right? So obviously, I'm not qualified for this position at all, right? So then I'm sitting there in the area, and then this lady calls me in, the head of the department, and this is what I say to her. I was like, before you speak, before you ask me any questions, let me tell you this. Because I took a quick look at her office as I came in, and I saw that everything was just like in a orderly shape, because you must always like open your eyes, right? And I saw everything is like quite pedantic, is in an orderly shape. So I said to her, the other people outside potentially have experience in this post. I don't. But I think that is actually a benefit for you, because that means I'm a clean slate and I'm a fast learner. So I can be able to do this job in the way that you would like for me to do it. And I can see that you're quite particular. And so if you allow me this opportunity, you can have someone who's going to do some the things the way that you'd like them to, instead of having to reprogram someone's thinking that is already there. And that's how I got into that's how I got into corporate. That's how I got into corporate, is that each time I've been given an opportunity, I speak, I'm honest, and I'm honest about what it is that I can do, and I'm never shy when in a room of opportunity to say, hey, pick me, and these are the reasons why. Next question. Uh, yes. Oh, this.